This is our podcast. I'm Ellie. This is Isabel. Welcome to Layers of Arcane. This is episode one. We are going to talk about Caitlyn Kiramman,
The best
the
character.
the best character, the goddess
I
that
might be
she
a little bit
is.
biased.
We both might be a little bit
Yeah.
biased. However, we took time into really looking into her, like delving into her character and seeing her flaws. And I think it's beautiful in the way she grew as a character throughout this whole season.
Mm, definitely.
And how each moment was critical into her development, you know?
Not a
So
scene was wasted. I
yeah,
think in
not
the
a
second
scene.
season, it still kept the same attention to detail and
Yeah.
depth.
Yeah. There was it it was a steady pace, but also one that like really showed every pivotal moment that she was like, this scene specifically is why she cracked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's say the memorial scene, or how in episode three, like we'll get to those points. We'll definitely get to those points. But I want to talk about the funeral.
Okay.
That was such a beautiful scene. I cried. I don't know about you.
I cried.
I think everybody cried. I think let's be fair, everybody cried there. The
Yeah.
song, the song I can't hear it now was
Yeah.
just a perfect like song to put in with that the whole like it really hits you deep.
Mm.
Like you feel the grief. You
And
know what I
how
mean?
they laid the images over the music, and when the casket
Hmm.
shuts with Cassandra in
Yes.
it, that really tugged at my heartstrings.
And it's just even the developers that or the writers and the people who worked on that scene, the animators, it was hand drawn charcoal.
Yes.
And what's amazing though, what I love about it is there's a common theme we'll see throughout the whole season, and it's a color,
Mm.
violet. Not just but violet, like the color. Violet petals that she places in her casket.
This is so
And
interesting you say that, and it's just sprung into my mind. But when we talk about things going full circle in this season, right at the
yeah,
end, she
violet.
says Violet.
Violet,
Are you still in this
exactly.
fight,
See?
Yeah,
Violet?
See? It's a theme. It comes full
definitely.
circle, absolutely. And what I love about it is that violet has meaning, right? But it has a ton of different meanings. It could be nobility, spirituality, ceremony, mystery, wisdom, enlightenment, arrogance, mourning, cruelty, instability. And right now, I think this first act, it's gonna be mourning, cruelty, instability.
Mm,
But going throughout like the second act to the third, you'll see more of the other meanings like nobility, enlightenment, wisdom that
hmm.
she gets from Mbessa
Yeah. I think
backfires on her.
yeah, from Ambessa, and I think that's really interesting that Violet also stands for arrogance, because
Hmm.
when we see the Black Rose talking to Mel and LeBlanc, if it is LeBlanc, and she
It
says
is.
it
No.
is. When she says arrogance is the biggest weakness of the gifted. And I
Hmm.
think that's so interesting because Caitlyn, in many ways, is gifted. She's gifted with this moral compass, this ability to, well, she practiced with the gun. But I think the moral
Hmm.
compass and empathy is a huge strength of hers, and she's gifted in that. But she can't let her arrogance and this hatred and revenge overpower that side of her. And so I think that's so interesting. Violet also means arrogance.
Yes, yes. I did my research. I was like, why am I seeing this color everywhere? I see it in the shimmer. I see it in the bottle that Vi was drinking out of.
And
I
it's
see
not
it.
just because you're obsessed with Violet as
No,
well.
no. It's everywhere. Even the hex core.
Yeah.
It's a violet, right?
Mm.
So it's like the writers put like they were obsessed with that color,
Hmm.
you know? Or like in Act Two, you'll see like her little cape going thing, Commander.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
inside is violet, right? So it's like
Yeah.
a different shade of violet. It's a common theme. But like
I love
we
purple.
also like when it comes to episode one, Heavy is the Crown, and I love that title. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the intro, probably did. There's a part in the intro where Caitlyn's doing this, and then right behind her is a crown.
Mm.
Heavy is the crown, right?
Hmm.
Her mother died, and she has all this new responsibility. She's head of household, the Kiramman household. You would think
Absolutely.
normally it's the man that carries the torch, right? No, no, not this. It's Caitlyn Kiramman.
Yeah, and I remember reading it, but in the Kiramman family, it is passed down matrilineally.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
how it's passed down. And I think that's so interesting that I love how the intro shows a lot of this foreshadowing of every episode, but as
Mm-hmm.
well with Caitlyn and the song Heavy is the Crown, it relates to that theme of leadership and
Yes.
responsibility massively that we
Yes.
see throughout Caitlyn's
Yeah.
time during the season two.
And in Act One, it weighs on her.
Yeah.
It really weighs on her.
And in the introduction, the tips of her fingers are red, which shows she might have blood on her hands, bloodshed of sorts.
Yes.
It could be
Yes.
Cassandra,
It
because she didn't
could.
make the shot, but it could also be with what the Noxians are doing in Piltover, because every
Hmm.
time they do something bad, when we see
It
Rictus about to punch
it reflects
them
on
queuing
her
up. Yes.
because she's the one that said, "Yes, I'll step up and do that." Yes. But like it's like reds and violets is a common theme, you know? It's crazy what they did with this. And
Mm,
another thing I noticed in that first episode is that, when she's sitting down and she seems well, you know what? Let's rewind a little bit before that part. When she sees her mother's casket closing.
yeah.
Now, there's been a common thing that people will also understand is the micro expressions. It's like a millisecond. If you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. Her lip is quivering. She looks to the side, she sees her dad for a second and she looks back at the casket. She's like, no, I gotta stay strong. I gotta stay strong. I can't show my weakness. I can't show that I'm gonna cry. And I can relate to her. When you want to be the glue to the family, when you want to be strong and show that you're strong and not cry and whatnot, that you can handle it. It
Hmm.
it it is heavy.
For
It's heavy on
sure.
your heart. And when she sits down with her, you know, with all these condolences letters, and when her father comes to sit down next to her, yeah, she's collective. She crosses her legs. She's showing that she's like, I got this. I'm holding it together as best I can. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
100%, and she's the one opening the letters.
And
She's the one
she's the one,
opening like these
yes,
apologies, or I'm so sorry to hear about your mum. She's the one that passes her father the
yeah.
cup of tea.
Just like I relate to that because like personally, my mom, she's going through a lot of medical issues. Like she has MS, multiple sclerosis, so I want to be strong for her. So, like I don't show that I like it hurts me or anything. Like I'm there for her. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look at the
Yeah.
positives. I'm like, hey, I'm here for you. Don't worry about it. And that's what Caitlin's doing. Like, Dad, don't worry about it. I'm going through these condolences. I'm taking care of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when he sits down next to her and he's just losing a loved one, and then, we don't know much about Tobias. We don't know much about Cassandra, but we do get like little pieces throughout, Act One, right?
When she sits by the bench and the tree, this is where me and my
Yes.
mother would go and we wouldn't argue.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Tobias is just, well, we see it in season one that Tobias was, oh, he's a Caitlyn's his little girl,
Yes.
Yeah, he's always like, like, listen, honey, let her, she just got here, let her rest, we'll figure this shit out later. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was the Yeah, Caitlyn is a daddy's girl, I guess.
She is definitely a daddy's girl. And I
Yeah.
think Tobias, so Tobias is Ionian. So that means he's moved from Ionia to Piltover to be with
Mm-hmm.
Cassandra. And
Mm-hmm.
so he's definitely, I imagine he was probably smitten with Cassandra and willing to do a lot of things
Have you seen
differently.
those eyes?
Yeah. And so I think through Cassandra passing away, in a sense, that Cassandra was also Tobias's rock and gave him a lot of security
Mm-hmm.
so he could give that
Yes.
to Caitlyn. And with Cassandra passing, that shield is no longer there because Tobias has to pick up his own pieces. And
Yes.
Caitlyn's in this position where do I also let myself collapse, which her mother definitely would not have allowed her to do
Yeah,
that in high
exactly.
society. And so she has to
Yes.
hold that space now for her dad because he is
Hmm.
and that she yeah, he's falling apart.
You can see it from
Mm.
his hair, how he's dressed. And
This is such a nice contrast. Also, just thinking about that scene when she's holding this space, she's opening
yes.
the letters, the tea, and then she sees Vi.
Yes. That was about to get to that part, actually.
Jinx.
Jinx. No, when, she was looking at Tobias, she was like, I had the shot.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but that kind of broke me. Like she had
Yeah.
the shot. She did. But she already cared for Vi. She already cared for her in a way that was more than a friend, as we all know.
Mm.
They had their intimate moments, they oil and water.
Yeah.
But she had the shot, but she also didn't want to hurt Vi because that's her sister. And Tobias doesn't say anything. He
Yeah.
just he just sighs like, I don't want you to feel that guilt. Like any parent would tell their kid, like, it's not your fault. It, it happened.
Yeah.
We can't go back. And then he hands her the key, the Kiramman key. Now that's such an important thing that nobody talks about. It's like, okay, they have this key, is like passing down the torch, symbolism. Head of household now, you have all this responsibility, heavy as the crown.
Mm.
But what puts a stop into knowing about the key is a sudden change of Tobias looking back and seeing Vi.
Hmm.
Why is she still here? Like,
And
whoa,
it felt
dude.
out of character for
It felt
Tobias.
it felt so out of character because he's like in the first season he seems so nice. Like, oh, okay. You know? No, he's like, why is she doing like he blames Vi. He doesn't blame Caitlyn. He blames Vi because Jinx is Vi's sister. But
Mm.
I don't know if he knows that. But they were all in the
I think
situation
so.
together. You know what I mean? They were all in the situation. Like Caitlyn was like his daughter was with Vi when all this happened.
Caitlyn would have had to have given a statement to the
Mm-hmm.
enforcers. They definitely would
And
have
she
spoken
did. She
about it.
did. Because
Yeah,
Mel Medarda did say that. She was like, yeah, she was a
she was
key
there.
witness. She was a
Yeah.
key witness. Um,
And
and I love
also,
how
there's this internal prejudice. Vi is
hmm
still from the Undercity. The Undercity's done
exactly.
all of this. And when you're grieving,
Hmm.
it's so easy to go back to old patterns of hatred because you're trying
Blame
to
game.
cope.
The blame
Blame
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they need to blame someone for that. And when she sees Vi and after her Tobias is like, "Oh, what is she doing here?" She looks back at her father and you notice a change.
Hmm.
It's like she gave him the look like I don't look at her that way. She's here because of me. You know what I mean? And he like in the last second before she gets up and go, you see the change like, "Oh, oh." And he
They're
doesn't
gay.
intervene. Yes.
He's like, oh.
Absolutely. He's like, oh, okay. Like his eyes widen a little bit, like he doesn't want to
No,
get,
but yeah, he realizes that this person is her daughter's support network and a
yeah,
really key
exactly.
person she can open up with.
And despite Vi being the catalyst in that whole situation, you know, well, not really a catalyst, but what happened, like she's part of it.
She's definitely part of the catalyst,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
and and Vi walks away and Caitlyn wants to catch up to her. So we see Vi, looking at her, and
This scene made me
Caitlyn,
cry.
this scene made me cry too,
Yeah.
because like I get it. I get it. Like I feel that. Vi is like, hey, she knows that she's hurt. She doesn't know what else to say, but she knows what it feels like to lose a parent, especially a mother. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or she lost both her parents and her adoptive father. Like she knows. She
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
So when Caitlyn sees Vi, this was such an important part. She smiles at her for a second from the
Mm,
hay. It's
mm.
it's like a small little thing, but her lips quiver, her chin is just shaking, and then she falls apart.
I
She
just want to
falls
bring
apart.
this to the intro as well, where
Hmm.
because there's definitely a parallel here. The first
Yes.
time we see Caitlyn, she's got this sad face, looks into the light, and smiles like she's
Yeah.
embracing the confidence, embracing leadership. And then we
Yes.
see her stressing with the crown, having a panic attack of sorts. And that small moment there is also symbolic of that. She smiles, she's about to put on a brave face, but
Hmm.
inside she's devastated. And it's with
Yeah.
Vi, she lets that go.
There's a fantastic line that I remember. It's from Mel. When Mel told Jace, yeah,
Yeah, I love
like,
Mel.
hey, the Kiramman girl, she's she's showing her bravery, like admirably. You know what I mean? She was showing her grief admirably. Like, we're not showing, but she's being strong, and she needs her support and Jace's support. But I'm going back to the scene with Vi, because this is
Hmm.
important. This is very important. We noticed that Caitlyn was the person to initiate touches, right?
Hmm.
In season one, because that's her love language. She goes in for the hug, she just falls and just collapses into the hug, right?
Hmm.
Vi is like, oh, okay, yes,
Yeah.
and we in the background we're also crying and saying, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
this is my babies.
Yeah.
Um, but like, what people don't understand is like, this is also a key moment. Like, she lets Vi cup her face and she
Mm.
leans into it.
Hmm.
Vi has tears in her eyes too.
Hmm.
And Caitlyn only cries and sobs
Hmm.
where Vi is around.
Hmm.
Like I've watched this episode or Act One so many times, and it's like I don't see her collapse or just be vulnerable with anybody else. You
Not
don't.
there, even in season one with Vi, she was very hesitant.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you just see this tender moment how she just leans into Vi's hand.
I think in just thinking, I think in season one she doesn't at all because she does it for Vi. And so
Yeah,
that moment, which is why we collectively felt it, it was just so
yeah,
powerful. This
it
build up,
is.
then 3 years, and to see it come undone. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like she's broken.
Oh, my baby.
Yeah, I know. She's broken. She's falling apart, and she just feels that she can fall apart in front of Vi. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think also just about this and how Caitlyn interacts with people around her and the Kiramman family. When that hug is finished and she offers her the badge to be an enforcer, Caitlyn's family and don't seem like they're the sort of people to say sorry, and she very much brushes past any apologies. So Jace says
Yeah.
sorry, she doesn't acknowledge it. I think Vi might say sorry there, I don't know, but she doesn't acknowledge it. And just through her tone and way of speaking, offering the badge, that's her going,
Hmm.
look, let's forget about it. It's in the past. It's not your fault that my mum died. It's
Yeah.
neither of their faults. And so she sort of brushes past that to then just offering the badge and she doesn't really acknowledge any apologies ever. And I think that's through her family. I don't know for sure
Yeah.
though.
No, I can see that. Like, high society, all right? Let's talk
Mm,
about that for a second. they're highborns. They're it's a strong name, as you know they've been saying throughout Act One. It's a strong name, stronger
Yeah,
than most in Piltover. Like they're and then we get a hint that they fund the Piltover police. Like that's a
yeah,
big thing too. You know, like oh, so
yeah,
they're a big name, and you know with names like that, it's like oh, they have power. So
yes,
she's
yes.
also in a place with power and which is why she got that badge for Vi. She went behind her back and went into the pit like no, we need her, you know, she has if any other Piltover have a heart like Vi, we would be unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
she went over everybody. It's like no, this. Like Vi didn't get any training or anything. It's just I'm giving you this and I want you with me on this.
just because her character, the good heart, that's what it should be about.
Exactly, exactly. And she did that with the goodness of her heart, even though she doesn't. Yes, it's a tough time right now for her, but like
Mm,
all she thought was, I just need you by my side, Vi.
yes,
I know
yeah.
she didn't think about the family. I know she would say, I know about like the police killed your parents. I'm sorry about that, you know, but she just desperately wants Vi by her side with this because Vi is that anchor
Hmm.
that keeps her moral compass pointing north. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So like that whole scene, like especially when she was like, "We can do it," you know, we could show them together.
Mm,
Like it almost seems like, you know, when she said that line, it seemed a little off of her character.
hmm.
It's just, well, like how she worded it, like, you know, it sounded like she's delusional a little bit. Like we could do it together. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%.
It was
Yeah.
like, wait, that sounded a little off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Caitlyn is an intelligent person, and
Yes.
by saying that and suggesting that to Vi, it did feel out of character, as though she's coming from a place of desperation. She's lost her mother.
Yes.
Now she
Yes.
might lose Vi.
Hmm.
How can I keep Vi with me? This may be my only way of the only way she could
Exactly.
see. And it's beginning, that's the start of her revenge. Let's go get
Yep.
Jinx. Can you do it with me? Come with me.
Hmm.
And that
Yeah.
actually comes into is the next scene them at the tree with Jace.
Yes. Yes. This
Right. Oh,
part. This
interesting.
part.
Yeah.
This part. So, and there's so many, there's a little lore here too.
Hmm.
That's also plays in episode 3. So you know that like that whole tree, and then there's that little thing there that like wind picks up, that's the
The vent.
airflow, the vent.
Yeah.
So she has the petals and it flows away. Yeah. But she has this tunnel vision, right? We're talking about real tunnel vision. She's walking in this dark area with her rifle and she sees Jinx. And it's those same petals, right? Just floating away. She's like, I need to shoot. This is my time to shoot. I lost my chance last time. Maybe this will make me feel better.
Hmm.
And she's all she's thinking in her mind. You know, she's slipping into that blinded rage, you know, but
Mm.
not blinded rage, but more like blinded grief that she needs an outlet. And the only person that snaps her out is Hey Sprout,
Yeah.
Jace.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And what I like about this whole scene too is when Jace is talking to Caitlyn and Caitlyn's talking about how she wants to tear that laugh from her throat and all that. The vent is chaotic. It's swirling around and everything. But
Whoa, I hadn't noticed that.
when she talks about Vi, it settles. It's calm.
Amazing.
And
That's so fascinating.
it was great. There's
Yeah.
meaning to it. I was like, every time she brings up Vi, it's just calm. Even though how ridiculous Vi can be, it's just that's her calm. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And I've noticed this because like I was like, okay, I watched that scene so many times. I'm fucking crazy, but
Yeah.
but like I've only
We
noticed
can
it
be
when
crazy together, it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, let's be crazy. Um, but like you see this fascinating moment, like from her snapping out of that, and then it's turmoil going around, right?
Mm.
And and then it's you just see Jace coming out of nowhere saying Sprout, well, I mean, it's not really out of nowhere. Mel kind of like, hey, go see Kiramman, go see Caitlyn. She's like your baby sister,
He's the
you
worst
know?
older. He's such a classic older brother. The girlfriend has to
Yeah.
go check on your little sister. She's
Yeah,
grieving.
exactly. Exactly, exactly. And I love that dynamic that they have, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like the moment they brought up Vi, it just settles. And I love how she's like, yeah, I brought up the badge. And Jason already knows, like, oh, she didn't take that nice. It's like
Yeah.
they know her, they know Vi already. Like, what? Why would you do that? You know she would say no.
Mm.
She's like, it was worth a shot, like she was more like open about it, talking about Vi. She was a little loose about it. Like her demeanor from when Jace said Sprout and she's like talking about Jinx, all she saw was Jinx. Now she wants to tear that throat, that laugh from her throat, but then it eases like talking about Vi and she got back to her playfulness with Jace, like that calmness that they can talk to each other, like brother
Yeah.
and sister. Like it was such a key moment. I don't know, like because in episode 3 she has no anchor, so but we'll get to that. And in the next scene, like I don't know if you have anything to add about that scene. Like, did you notice anything about that scene? That the whole
I
Cassandra's and Caitlyn's space. There was the only like little snippet we get about Cassandra's backstory with Caitlyn is that they argued a lot outside, but like that area was the only place that they found calm and they can actually be mother and daughter.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. Well, yeah, if I reflect on the scene, I think it's interesting how in that space, which is a place of connection and peace,
Mm-hmm.
this feeling of revenge is beginning
Mm-hmm.
to show
Yeah.
strongly. To come in a place like that and you have this really intense,
It's
dark
like,
thought, it's
yeah,
beginning to permeate her life.
yeah. And it's
And this
corrupting that
is
that that
corrupting.
calmness. Yeah. And oh, I just love the little hidden gems in these scenes. It's great. It's like, oh, they're so brilliant. It's just brilliant,
Yeah.
you know? And
Thank you, Christian Link. Thank you, Fortiche. Thank you,
yeah.
Amanda. Thank you, Alex.
I know, right? It's like, oh, genius. But yeah, like that whole scene was just beautiful. Beautifully done. Like turmoil and then how it's corrupting, like, her anger and grief. It's just they played that so well, you
Mm.
know? And then the next scene, which really, really got me, was of course they introduced Maddie. We're not gonna talk about her
The
more.
silence, the crickets. I liked Maddie. I really did. And I thought
She's
it was so
adorable.
real. Like, oh, wait,
Yes.
we're on the other episode. But if I skip forward, I just think what Caitlyn did with Maddie is very real. I think it's
Hmm.
really real.
Absolutely.
But yes, then we see
Absolutely.
Maddie and see her enthusiasm.
Yes.
And she
She's
just comes across as somebody blindly following
yeah.
who just accepts her privilege and doesn't analyze it and goes, woo,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm the
yeah.
best enforcer ever.
Yeah. Like she's like, yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
she's a yes woman, you
Yeah.
know? But like, they like when they introduced her talking to Vi and which goes back to like the whole springing the badge on Vi, it tells you that Caitlyn actually told the Piltover police like, all right, well, if you don't accept her, I'm just gonna stop the funding.
Mm,
And they were like, no, we need that. Yeah, she could join the police force, no problem.
yeah.
She doesn't need training. And then there's that like that lore that they have in League of Legends that is like police brutality, but I'm not going to go into that.
I
That's
think it,
actually a thing
yeah, I think it's funny.
in
Not
the
in real
fuck.
life, but in
Yeah.
League, video game.
Yeah, but no, like, and then we skip forward to the memorial.
Mm,
Yeah, you love how I said memorial. Um,
yeah,
it's insane. That scene is insane. Like, we see action, we see like people dying.
and it's
In the
Caitlyn's. It tips her over the edge.
Yeah, that was the breaking point. That was the nope.
Yeah,
Shit, I need to do something. I need to I need Jinx. And she thinks it's Jinx.
yeah,
That's the worst part. She thinks it's Jinx, and there's another factor at play
yeah,
that's pulling the strings, you know? And it's just like,
yeah,
and we know who it is, you know?
yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to when after the funeral, Mel was telling to the council how, yes, Caitlyn was a key witness, yada, yada, yada. And then the person who said, like, yeah, you guys should have a memorial was Mbessa, right?
Mm.
And
Really? Wait, when did that happen?
she was like, you should have a show of unity, right? Have everybody
Oh
together.
my
And
God.
but Mel saw that shit and Mel went, how wise.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I knew it was orchestrated and in the
It was
second bit,
all
etc. But right
orchestrated.
from there, and the other thing is, so the bit that tipped me off was when the obvious scene where in the later actually
Hmm.
looks at Ambessa, but also how the Noxians are so slow to react
Yeah,
when the Shimmer giants pop up.
exactly.
Okay, yes, and a show of unity. Wow, great catch.
Ambessa is the wolf and the fox.
So when Caitlyn I think as well, what I noticed was when Caitlyn, after in the aftermath, and she sat at the tent with Vi, and
Hmm.
she says, "What animals would do this?" And
Yeah,
animals, the wolf,
yeah,
bingo
yeah,
right there.
yeah,
A-
exactly,
And then when it
exactly.
zooms in on her teeth,
Hmm.
like a wolf's
Yeah,
jaw.
animals, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But Caitlyn's thinking, "Oh, it must be Zornites," and it's beginning
yeah,
to create that us and them.
yep.
I'm justified in my revenge.
And the little rift between her and Vi.
Yeah.
But
Her anchor.
Vi is just like, hey, I'm here for you.
And she also says, oh, they just wanted a scare and a spectacle,
Yeah.
which is very neutral. She's not blaming anybody. And
Yeah,
that
she's
was,
not blaming any. And
yeah,
she's trying to be that anchor, like, hey, see it from both sides.
yeah.
And she's like, but how should I say this? And I use this analogy a lot is think of a cup, right? We have a cup here. And you're feeling water, it is rising, and it's like literally at the edge. That's Caitlyn right now. That's Caitlyn. And this memorial was that last drop that lets the water spill over. Because you hear when you hear it goes, well, I don't know how. Like she just
Yeah.
snaps. And we never seen her snap like that before. That's all the anxiety, the pressure, heavy as the crown. I'm gonna bring that up. Like that's her just like because she's doing this a lot, you know what I mean? That's just anxiety. She has anxiety and she needs a clear path. And the fact that Vi, like, she's like there for her. And this just seeing her excuse me, seeing her break, like my mom just leaves and she leaves this giant hole like she was never there to begin with.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And that is a big thing because it also shows like, was her mom always there for her?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, was she,
I think the
besides being
whole,
like,
I think it could also be that she's left this responsibility and
well,
weight.
yeah, yes. But like also like, because it's high society, her mother was like probably always like, hey, this is what you need to do because whatever you do reflects on me.
Yeah.
because her mother was a part of the council. So, you know what I mean? Like, you have a duty. You always have a duty. So now she has this hole. Now she has the duty to and responsibility to do all these things. And it's just like a giant hole that she doesn't know how to, uh, what do you call it? God, I can't think of the word.
Phil?
Um, yeah. Well, like it's like transitioning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Transitioning. So when Vi's like, the hole will get smaller, but you can never fill it. You know what I
I
mean?
mentioned this to you earlier, and I think as well this is why for Caitlyn, in her character arc anyway, there's this there are these themes of leadership, resilience, sacrifice, and
Yes.
transformation. And to
Yes.
fill that hole, she has to fulfill a number of those things.
By herself. She needs
Yes.
she needs to do this by herself. Like in any like in anything a person goes through, the only person that can help is yourself. If you can't push past through that things, then it's and we see Caitlyn trying to go to everybody like, hey, I need help with this. Or like, hey, are you by my side on this? Like to Vi. And what I like about Vi's character and their relationship is like Vi will tell her that's dumb. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And even though Caitlyn's like, I know you, Caitlyn fights back on her, but she
Yeah.
knows Vi is right. You know what I mean? It's like it's that dynamic, but it's like it's so great.
This is
But
why Maddie is such a great contrast because
yeah,
Vi is honest and
yes,
Caitlyn gets a bit fiery about that, but she recognizes that
yes,
Vi is right, whilst with
moral
Maddie,
compass.
yes, but with Maddie, she is rejecting that and saying, I
Yes,
don't need your kind words.
right, right, right. And it was great too. This is my favorite part is that Vi does it again. Initiates Caitlyn's love language, and her love language is touch.
Oh, and then Caitlyn leans into her
And she
hands.
leans into her hand, and Vi wipes that traitorous tear that gets away. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and the thing is that gets me is that, but she pulls away.
Hmm.
She pulls away, and I think she pulls away because I don't think she's scared about acts of affection. I think it was because like I gotta be back into my work mode. I gotta keep my head straight. I can't think of these things right now.
100% because I think although we as the watcher are aware Vi is her strength, in
Hmm.
this moment as the grief and reve feeling of revenge is beginning to come into all of her life, she is now beginning to see Vi as her biggest weakness.
Yes, yes. And this
With
is that first step.
yes.
Oh, oh, they're
And then
so
I think a character reiterates that and says
yeah,
or maybe but she sees that Vi was slowing her down in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah. And it starts in episode two, she wasn't really in much. There's just one key part that she's snapping. You can see she's
Mm,
breaking. In the arcade where Vi grew up with her adopted siblings and Jinx, right? So that shooting game
hmm.
that Jinx used to play. And then she has this hallucination of Jinx of the moment that she could have taken the shot
Yeah.
from that twisted tea party in the end of season one, right?
Yeah.
And she shoots. She shoots. She shoots right through the middle in the head.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yo, what the fuck? Excuse my French, but like, yo, what?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like even Vi was like, hey, are you good?
Yeah.
Like she's just like you could see her like hyperventilating before she takes she's like like that anger just coming out and then she just pulls the trigger, trigger happy
Yeah.
a little bit, just
Yeah,
a little bit.
definitely.
And that leads to episode three, where they
Is this
catch
where
a
we
guy.
get our montage? Is this where we get our epic montage and the
Yes,
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 Hellfire.
Hellfire. Everybody
Yeah.
loves that
And
part. That was
also we
such a
briefly skipped over it, but when Caitlin says, treat me with respect or keep your mouth shut.
Right,
Just
right. You know what?
that
Let's
moment
rewind
of
to that.
growth.
Let's
Yeah.
rewind to that. When they bring out our little Caitlyn in her nice little uniform,
Yeah.
she's walking. She in step with her, her little squad. She's has these piercing eyes that daggers, right? And then the councilman's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, hands on the
Mm.
table. I am Caitlyn Kiramman, I'm a decorated officer. And where did she get her decorations? Well, let's see. The first explosion from when Jinx stole the first little orb. Um let's see, when the other officers died. Um
On the bridge.
on the bridge, because Marcus and all that, she was there, she was part of that fight. And I can't think of anything else, but she was
Being with
part
Jinx in
being
that
with Jinx.
moment, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, so she knows, and she has all this power. Just address me with respect or keep your mouth shut. Like, oh, just handcuff me. Like,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's how Maddie
But
felt too.
yeah, right? Her little eyes just beaming.
Mm. Yeah.
Mommy.
Yeah, definitely.
But like,
I think there we
Jace,
see that she's stepped into her own. She's come into her power. She's gone away. She's accessed the key, looked at what her
yes,
lineage is, looked at what her mother did,
yes,
and she's gone, look, to become the leader, to become this person who the city needs me to be, I have to step up now. May not be the right way of
exactly.
stepping up. We all make
No.
mistakes on our journey. And so she's definitely seeing it from a limited perspective of
Mhm.
vengeance, anger, re grief. And so
Yes.
her leadership in that moment, when you watch the first act, when it first came out, I thought, oh wow, she's really become a leader. But now that I've seen the third act, she's sort of, she is in that moment, she was trying to be a leader, but she was too fueled by anger. It wasn't a
Hmm.
compassionate leadership. It was, I'm just going to go out, kill Jinx, get it done, and things are going to go back to normal. And there we see, so in the first act, you see her become a woman in quotation
Yes.
marks, but she's still got this very maybe perhaps immature attitude to what it means
Yes.
of
Yeah, she hasn't
leadership.
she hasn't fully grasped what being a leader means.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole aspect, let's go back to Jace, her being that last anchor, or the other anchor, he stepped up and made her a gun. That
Mm,
awesome rifle, you know?
yeah.
That's so badass. Just ching, like, yo, please. But, he also helped make the gauntlets and the other weapons that the other squad members have, like Loris, Maddie. I don't know. Do we know his name? The guy?
The
The blue
fish
guy?
guy. No, I don't know. I don't know it.
I don't know either. I don't know. But they're cool. He's the medic, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
But in Hellfire, you see their squad dynamic, right? You see the tunnels, and each tunnel that they're using to use the gray mist, was it that they call it?
Just the gray.
The gray. And each tunnel was the Kiramman logo, right?
Yes.
And it's like crazy because it's like, so you're telling me her family is responsible with that helped the people of the Undercity. Like, was that like oversaw, like, or did everybody oversee that? Like, hello. And she's going down there to basically search and seizure, you know what I mean? So she's
Mm,
terrorizing the people that the Kiramans helped. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. And I think this is that immature because
She's tunnel
I,
vision, tunnel vision.
yeah, tunnel vision, this immature leadership, instead of acting from a place of compassion,
Hmm.
understanding, respect, she's going, I'm going to make them pay, I'm going to make them suffer, we're going to do this. Sort of that angry leadership style we see from some
Yes.
leaders. And it just, and it's completely it completely juxtaposes what she wanted to do in season one. And I
Right.
think it's so where she wanted to
This
bring the
is,
cities together. Now she's
yeah,
going, you know what? This is how they are.
right, right. And it's like the leadership that's like, she, she's that type of leader right now in this moment that she's headstrong about it. And if you don't like it, don't come with attitude. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Address me with respect. Keep your mouth
Yeah.
shut.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That attitude also follows through these tunnels through episode 3, you know? And oh my God. And then it comes to this part where they found the guy that Jinx hung up and whatnot, right? And she was ready to pop a bullet in his head. Like she was just like I said, trigger happy, right? And Vi recognized that. She's like, wait a second, something's not right. Like, hey, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. But Caitlyn's like angry. She's so angry. She's sick of this shit. She just wants to get this done. She wants Jinx, and she's mad that Jinx hasn't shown up. But this is the key moment where like, okay, we know where Jinx is. Great. All right, now lock him up and take him with us. Like, what? Like this is what we trained for. Like she's just work mode, do your fucking job and follow me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's her attitude. It's oh, like seeing her like this kind of broke my heart a little because like this is not her. This is not her. She's tunnel vision. She just wants revenge so badly and is right at the tip of her fingers. She can nearly like feel it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want to revenge my mom. I want to revenge my mom. That won't bring her back, but at least I'll have this. But in the end that will make people empty inside. You know what I mean? Still empty and not bringing her back.
Yeah.
But like you just see her so lost and angry. And when Vi was like, "Can I have a moment with you? Can we talk?" You know? And so Vi is talking, right? Vi is talking. This is actually a key moment. Vi is talking about, hey, I think we should split the group. It should just be me and you. And Caitlyn's about to protest, and you see her. She put her rifle up, and she's just like, all right, let's hear it. Like that attitude almost closed off, but sure, I'll
Mm.
listen to you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, you know, she doesn't cross her arms, but she has that vibe. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
It's
But
closed off body language.
yeah, yeah. And Vi is like telling her we should, split off from the rest of the group, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah. They're scared. Jinx can smell that a mile away.
Hmm. It almost feels like a weak argument.
Yeah, yeah." But like, Caitlyn looked like she was about to argue with her, but Vi kept going on, and then what really brought her attention up, which you see our old Caitlyn back just a little bit when she was like, "Look, I can't bring your mother back," and that she just looks up, like
Hmm.
her eyes soften. And when Vi was talking about like, everybody's changed, and she doesn't want Caitlyn to change because Caitlyn is changing, and it's just heartbreaking that her this is her anger that's feeling
Yeah.
like this towards her. So I think this moment was important that Caitlyn didn't want to lose Vi. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Caitlyn starts walking towards her. Vi is on the verge of tears because she doesn't want her to change. And she initiates the touch this time instead
Hmm.
of the first other two that Vi did. Love language. They don't need to talk about it. She
Hmm.
just does it, right? And she goes in for the kiss. And it's the sweetest kiss. But before she goes into the kisses, you can see that she was hesitant,
Hmm.
like permission almost. But Vi's like, I'm yes, yes, you know? And when they kiss and she says, I won't change. And that in itself is like, okay, but what does that entail? You know what I mean? Like,
So what I think was interesting about that moment, and I'm sure the writers did it on purpose, but where she says, "Promise me you won't change," and she says, "I
mhm.
won't," and that could be "I won't promise," or it could
Yeah,
be "I won't change." And so she doesn't
yeah,
really give a direct answer
yeah,
to that
exactly.
because she's already in the process of changing.
And you know what? Sometimes change in life is it could be a positive or it can be a struggle. And in this moment in Caitlyn's life, it's a struggle
Hmm.
of change, but it can turn into something so much better.
Mm,
And right now she's in that moment where she's just this hate and anger and grief is just eating at her that she doesn't know what positive direction she needs to go
hmm.
to have that like positive change. You know what I mean? And I think this kiss was everything to her. She doesn't show it as much, but you do see it when they're walking down the tunnel, right? She has that little smile for a second. You can miss it so easily, but you
Yeah,
see her like, you know,
this pep in her step.
yeah, there's this little and what I love too is just that like she has that small smile, but she's back into her dagger eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like so quick. Like, all right, no more weakness. We get the job done.
yeah,
But you see another part of that weakness when they're about or Vi is about to step up and go fight Vi. And Vi is telling her, hey, if you have the shot, take it.
yeah.
And then when Vi turns around to continue walking, she's like, Vi. Like, what were you gonna say? Like, what was she gonna say? I don't know. Like, it was like, be careful.
Hmm.
I don't want to lose you. But what's great about these two, but mainly Caitlyn, she doesn't use words.
Yeah.
She's not about. She just doesn't. Between them, it's not about words. It's just actions, or that understanding that they have, right? So I think in that moment, like Caitlyn's like, be careful. I
Mm.
don't. I don't want to lose you. Just stay sharp. You know what I
I
mean?
think also this is when they're going into the tunnel. I think also she was saying that to check Vi was actually ready to kill her sister.
Yeah.
She's going Vi and she's seeking reassurance because she can't go through it again where Vi stops her from killing Jinx,
Yeah.
from taking the shot, from stopping all the misery, the pain that's caused for her and her city. And
Yeah.
so she's going Vi. Also, I love you, be careful, but are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Because
Are
I
you with
need you.
me?
Are
Are
you
you
with
with
me?
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, are you with me on this? Like,
And I think it's heartbreaking.
uh,
I've got loads of time for Vi. Sorry, this is such a tangent, but personally, Vi wasn't with her in that moment. So the breakup scene makes total se the
it
first
makes
breakup, it makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah,
The
it
set wait,
makes
no, the
sense.
second breakup scene. Yeah, I think it makes
Yeah.
sense.
The second
I
freaking.
was saying this before, but I think I would have gone crazy if I was in Caitlyn's position. I mean,
Yeah.
Caitlyn just gave Vi a butt with her gun. I would have
Yeah.
gone berserk. My mum just died. You stopped me again. I would have been completely beside myself with anger. So I
We'll
think
get to
Caitlyn
that.
handled it incredibly well.
We'll get to that actually. We'll get to that. Um, so when she's getting ready to take the shot, the first shot, you see her. Yeah.
I just bit my lip, but when she arches
Like,
her
oh,
back like that, she's got to get a really good angle on the floor to shoot
that
Jinx.
really, really good angle.
Yeah. I
When
hope
she
you can
has her
detect the undertones
when
there.
she has her scope out, right, and she's taking aim, and you see through her scope,
Yes.
and you see Jinx through that scope, but you see a violet petal again, just going down like that.
Hmm.
She takes a shot immediately, because that was the scene she had in the tree
Yes.
area
In her
that
mind.
she finally took the shot, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't Jinx, it was the decoy, and
Hmm.
she was like, I know what she was thinking. She's like, God damn it, no. you
Yeah.
know? But also, shit, I gotta move. My position is compromise, so she
Hmm.
moves because that's what sharpshooters do. Like if you
Yeah.
shoot, you gotta move. You gotta keep moving. Um and that whole scene, like her fighting Savika was crazy because like later
Crazy for
on
a number of reasons.
a number of reasons, finding out that well Savika likes biting. But anyways, that's beside
Yeah.
no,
That time at the she spent a lot of time at the brothel.
oh
Lady knows
yeah.
what she likes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, but
But the other crazy thing was, well, for me, this was quite crazy, but we'd never seen Caitlyn in a physical combat fighting
yeah, or
situation.
a close combat
Close
mainly.
combat, yeah.
Yeah, like up in your face. She doesn't know, she looked like she doesn't know what to do too much. Just
Hmm.
fight or flight, and she's fighting. She only knows how to use her gun as a tool, right?
Huge contrast to Act 3.
Yeah. Yes, huge contrast. But that's because it bit
Ambessa.
Mbessa, yeah, Mbessa. But with this part, this whole scene, like with after the whole crazy hex cord kind of thing going on, when she finally gets back up and she's walking towards Vi, I've never in my life, like this was the hottest moment. Like real quick,
Mm,
shoot. Like she's like she saw the shot and she just lift up her gun and shoot, right?
yeah.
There goes Jinx's finger.
Adios.
Adios.
Yeah.
The middle finger. Yes.
Yeah.
And oh my God, bro. She like Caitlyn just kept like move out the way.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
she shot at Vi.
she shot at Vi twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
I fully believe that Caitlyn is an excellent shot, and even if Grayson hesitated, she would have been very close to beating Grayson in that scene as a child. I do think she would have hit Jinx, and I do think she would have been accurate. And I think Vi hesitating and
Because
holding
it's
her
a
back is
kid.
that I think perhaps there's a child there, but I think that Vi was looking for an excuse to stop her shooting Jinx. I don't think Vi really meant it when she said,
I mean,
"I'm with you."
this is
I think
really.
that Caitlyn would have hit Jinx easily. She
Oh
shot her
yeah,
finger,
easily,
she shot
easily.
at Vi, and it
No,
bounced off her.
you saw how fast like
Yeah,
he shot at Jinx's finger,
yeah,
middle finger. That's a small target. I don't know about
yeah.
you.
And that was
From
probably
that,
the only thing she could get right. But she still
yeah.
shot, even when Vi was right in front of Jinx, they were fighting, she still got
Hmm.
the piece she was aiming for. I don't think she hit that
Like I don't
accidentally.
know if you noticed from which episode was it? Episode 1 during the memorial when that Shimmer guy was about to, you know,
Absolutely.
and she shot the blade and it just angled it in a different way so it doesn't kill Vi. Like she's
Yes.
an excellent shot.
Yes. Or also shooting the Shimmer Giants that
Yeah,
right in the all the vulnerable
yeah,
places
exactly. She
accurately.
knows. She knows. But yes, I think it's because like the reason why Vi did it because it's her sister. Because during their fight, you see her catching Jinx from the blast of her shark rocket,
Mm,
and she actually catches her, but then they
hmm.
still fight again.
Yeah.
Sibling love, gotta love it.
Yeah.
But when the whole wind tunnel happens, and after all that, she doesn't see if Vi is okay. No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
She goes straight to the wall, hitting
Yes.
it and hitting it and hitting it. And she's like, it was right there. I had the shot again. What the, what the hell? What am I doing? What? I had it. I had it. And you just took that away from me.
Yeah.
And you just see her breaking. She's like, oh my God. It really got to me. It
Mm,
really got to me because you can see her lip quivering. She's just like, I thought you were different, but you're not. And when she's walking away, you see Vi grabbing her wrist, but
yeah.
loosening it because Vi doesn't want to hurt her, you know what I mean? But what really fucking ticks her off, again, I'm sorry for the language, is that, she's like, it's her blood in your veins, but when Vi replies, then why are you acting like her?
Yep.
That was the snap. That was you what did you just say to me? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
if you're ever in a relationship and you say that one line that ticks off your that you know that will tick off your your significant
Yeah.
other, this was it. They're married, guys. It's already done. They're
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Um, you just see her like doing that again, like so angry, and then she hit Vine with the butt of a gun, and you see her looking down at Vi, but there's
Yes.
another micro expression, like a little millisecond, you will miss it, is her regret in that moment.
Yes.
She
As she begins to turn
regret,
to the ladder.
yeah, she regretted that. Like she was like like
Yeah.
I'm like like it said I'm sorry, but she doesn't want to say I'm sorry. You know what I
Because
mean?
of, yeah,
Because
because
it's
of what we
yes,
discussed, high
yes,
society, it's not in her
yes.
family.
She
And
wanted to say sorry, but she also has to have this like, you were slowing me down. I needed to do this. I need to
yeah.
climb this ladder. I need to climb this ladder and
Wow.
raise the
Whoa.
crown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And you're weighing me down, anchor.
Yeah.
Like it's all coming together with this act one
All the things she
energy.
originally loved about Vi are
Yeah.
now what's stopping her achieving, in her eyes, this mission, this
Yeah.
purpose.
Exactly. And that's what I got from that whole scene. And it's like there's so much meaning to it. They did such a good job.
Yes. And I think and I thought about this in season one, but Jinx and Caitlyn are foils of each other, and they're meant to show different sides and different strengths. Caitlyn shows order and harmony, whilst Jinx is this chaos. And
Yeah.
so to say why are you the one acting like her? Vi is saying what needs to be said and what Caitlyn needs
Yeah.
to hear.
Yep.
But in this moment, Caitlyn can't accept that right now. And it's
No.
just too painful to hear after the grief and everything that's happened for her. But yeah, yeah.
It was just so good. And now she's climbing that ladder, which brings me to the next scene.
Wait,
The scene.
hold on. I'm not done with this scene. I need
No,
to
no, go
think.
ahead. Go
I no,
ahead. No,
yeah,
I love this.
I need to think for one moment. But yeah, like, and as well, okay, so in Act Two, in the beginning of episode four, that is exactly that's what I was going to say.
Huh?
But
Huh?
where we see um Caitlyn sat thinking about Jinx and focusing on what Jinx has done, I think.
Hmm.
And then she looks in the magnifying glass and there's that mirroring again. So not only
Yeah.
did Vi say it, we begin to see it at the beginning of episode four. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think that we've been talking about Caitlyn only in Act One for 45 minutes now, just
Yeah.
over. So I
Yeah.
think we should do a second episode on Caitlyn Act
Yeah.
Two.
Yo, no, no, we should. We should. This is going well.
So
And I
I
still
hope,
have time.
I hope
So
everyone is. I'm thinking about the episode length. So I hope that
45 minutes?
45 minutes. I hope everyone's really happy with this. This was going to be a whole season
Whole
analysis
thing.
of Caitlyn in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but
Um,
no. No,
but
it's gonna be episodes. No, but there's so
I think
much.
we should
Like,
do three. I think we should do a Caitlyn analysis based on each act.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
There's so
And
much to say about this
because there's
brilliant
a lot of
character with
notes that I
depth.
have, and there's a lot of notes that you have that we haven't shared. So hearing
Yeah,
your part about it is amazing. And oh my God, I love it.
yeah.
I love this. It's
Yeah, I
great.
love it too. Yeah. And so I hope that everyone else listening is enjoying it. Thank you so much for listening. We wanted to put Caitlin into one episode, but as you can probably tell, we're incredibly passionate about our
Yes.
favorite Pilty. So
Yep.
we'll split it into each act, and hopefully you'll
Hmm.
also be happy because you'll get to hear a lot more about Caitlin in
Oh
depth.
yes. Oh yeah. Especially Act Two was my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, really? I loved Act Three.
I loved Act Two for Caitlyn.
I loved Act
Only
Three.
because of her.
Not just because of that scene in Act Three, but
No,
because of
no,
the
no.
Ambessa dynamic.
Yes. But there's also ambassador dynamic in Act Two. There's
Mm,
little snippets. You actually have
There's
to
No,
like, oh,
a hundred
okay.
percent. I do agree with you. I think for me, the symbolism at the end of Act Three was just so powerful. But we will
Yeah,
do that in the next two episodes. So yeah, thank you so
absolutely.
much for listening. Take care, guys.